This evening on House and Home, our Besta mom Miriam cooks up a Besta mackerel stir fry. Norman shares more options at the tertiary education level. We are joined by the BSP team on the November update. It's more great quality bites over at Brian Bell. And at this time of the year, with the heat on the rise plus the rain, we may see an increase in snake bite victims, especially within our remote areas just outside our city's limits. We get an education on the role of Charles Campbell Toxinology Center, the challenges faced in retrieving snakebite patients, and availability of treatment. A very good evening to you all, and thanks again for joining us for another House and Home production. I'm Kevani Mado, standing in for Irene, who's currently away. Last week, we brought the show to you from the Holiday Inn Craft Market, and it was good to see many of our visitors out there shopping for gifts to take back to their loved ones. The billooms and the carvings were quite a hit. Unfortunately, that was the last craft market of the year at the Holiday Inn. But you can still find some craft sellers located just outside the hotel entrance, selling baskets, billooms, and paintings. Well, this is the last week of November, and Christmas draws nearer and nearer by the day. Most shops already had their Christmas decorations out on the shelves a month ago, and with that, the Christmas trees are all up as well. Well, most of them. Before we explore any further with our countdown to Christmas, let's head on over to our House and Home kitchen for some Besta mackerel stir fry.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta tuna chunks in 185 grams, packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta tuna chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
Good night, everyone. Welcome back to another Cooking with Besta program. For tonight's recipe, I will show you how to prepare Besta mackerel stir fry. This recipe is very simple to prepare, and in front of me we have 2 cups broccoli florets, half a cup green onion, 1 tablespoon oil, 2 cloves fresh minced garlic, 1/4 cup teriyaki sauce to taste, 2 cups sliced carrots, a few snow peas, and our main ingredient, Besta mackerel in tomato sauce in 425 grams. So firstly, we lit up our stove, bring our pan over to the side, add in our oil, make sure that the oil is evenly spread on all sides. Okay, let's add in our garlic. Spring onion, broccoli, carrots, and our snow peas. Let the vegetables to cook nice and crispy. Let it to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, viewers, our vegetables are now ready. So let's add in our Besta mackerel in tomato sauce. Mix that all up. Add in our teriyaki sauce. Besta mackerel in tomato sauce comes in 3 different sizes: the 425 gram, the 200 gram, and the 155 gram. Besta mackerel is also a good source of omega-3. Our Besta mackerel stir fry is now ready to be served. Let's switch off our stove. In front of me, I have my plate of rice. already served. And here you have it, Besta mackerel stir fry. Thank you for watching and hope you join me again same time next week on House and Home Cooking with Besta. It's better, it's Besta, pride of PNG.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta tuna chunks in 185 grams, packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta tuna chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
Something quick and easy, especially for those of you working moms and dads that get home late and need to throw a meal together that isn't going to take you hours to prepare and cook up. After the break, we join Norman of PIMS. See you shortly.
A very good evening and thank you for your company once again for another PIM segment on House and Home. Much has been said on this program about the current and future grim situation concerning school dropouts. I am certain the grade 12 dropout figures in 2012 will be repeated in 2013. Out of the 17,000 plus grade 12 students who sat for exam this year in 2013, our 34 tertiary level institutions combined can only take a maximum of 5,000 plus. Sadly, the remaining 12,000 or 70% majority will lose out and have to look for other places or other things to do. This means we are denying many capable and competent Papua New Guineans the opportunity to pursue tertiary education. We all lose out. By doing this, we are losing forever thousands of potential workers, leaders, decision makers and politicians who can never make the higher contributions because of opportunities denied. Because of this, more than ever, the responsibility goes to more private institutions to step up and help the country. I now see it as a responsibility for knowledgeable and capable Papua New Guineans to step up now in whatever capacity and help the country on the school dropout issue. We have to help ourselves if there is to be hope. To add to our efforts in addressing the problem, and as introduced in the last two episodes, PIMS will set up a new sister school in 2014 to be called the Norman Sike Institute, or NSI for short, that will offer several tertiary level diploma programs. The NSI diploma courses in 2014 will be conducted in Port Moresby, Lae, and selected centers with the new facilities to run these courses to be ready by the commencement of classes on the 3rd of February 2014. The first diagram will show the link between PIMS and the new Norman Sike Institute. As shown on the diagram, students who complete secondary studies either at grade 10 or 12 at PIMS can transit directly to the Norman Sike Institute to pursue the tertiary level diploma courses in business, management, computer science, and human resource studies. Of course, enrollments at both PIMS and NSI is open to students coming from other schools in PNG. Our 17 years of running PIMS will be very valuable to us to establish and run the new Norman Sike Institute. The next diagram will show a more detailed pathway for students between the two institutions, PIMS and NSI. Several points to note as we are looking at the diagram. Number one, all grade 10 non-computer science applicants will need to do the compulsory 6 months pre-diploma bridging course before enrolling into the diploma program of their choice. In the pre-diploma course, mathematics and language topics up to grade 12 level will be done with introductory business studies and computing. Number two, grade 12 students leavers gain direct entry into the diploma programs and are exempt from enrolling into a pre-diploma course. Number three, all diploma programs are 1-year courses except the diploma in computer science, which is a 2-year course. Number four, acceptance into the diploma in computer science course will strictly require completion and good pass marks in major math and science in grade 12. In the absence of this, students can do in full or upgrade matriculation math and science, particularly physics at PIMS, before reapplying for the diploma in computer science. The diploma in computer science course that we will be running at NSI in 2014 is one that we are putting particular importance on. This is because, apart from some universities in the country, I am pretty sure no other training institution runs this program. Correct me if I'm wrong here. As stated above, the Diploma in Computer Science is the only diploma course that is 2 years in duration. All the others are 1 year long. The next table will show the subjects covered under the Diploma in Computer Science course. From the list of subjects, it is clear to see why the prerequisite entry qualification for the Diploma in Computer Science is a good pass mark in major math and science at grade 12. The Diploma in Computer Science is aimed at grade 12 leavers who have above average grades but cannot make it to established tertiary institution due to limited space. The program aims to enrich students with high analytical and problem-solving skills integrated with computer technology. In the first year, students will be grounded in fundamentals of computer science with high-level mathematics and physics. In the second year, students will learn expanded topics in computer science with emphasis on database, data communication, programming, and hardware. Graduates from this program can work in any technical fields or pursue further studies. They bring with them high analytical and problem-solving skills with sound knowledge of computer science that will make them an effective problem solver and think tank of any organization. The second year data structure and algorithm course sets a good platform for analytical and problem-solving skills. Let's take a look at the next table that will show details of the other diploma programs. As can be seen from the table, the other diploma programs that will be on offer at the Norman C.K. Institute in 2014 includes Diploma in Accounting, Diploma in Business Management, Diploma in Human Resource Management, and Diploma in Sales and Marketing. For further information on courses and application forms for both PIMS and NSI, please contact the following address on the screen. PIMS NCD, PO Box 775, Boroko, NCD. Phone 325-4815, mobile 710-68149 or 70464-121. Email address is pimsinfor@gmail.com and our website address is www.pims.ac.pg. As I projected several episodes ago, if the compulsory education policy starts in 2014, the grade 12 school dropout problem will swamp us by 2018, producing a 90,000 plus of these grade 12 school dropouts, an alarming and frightening figure. In anticipation and readiness for this ominous situation, it is my aim and commitment at the new Norman C.K. Institute, backed up by PIMS, will be developed to be a solid and impact institute for the future. With that, we have come to the end of this episode. We hope that information provided in this episode has given clarity on further study options available at both PIMS and the new Norman C.K. Institute. Thank you all once again for your attention. Till next time in 2 weeks for another PIMS episode, you will have a very good night. Thank you.
After the break, we join Tina for the BSP update for the month of November. Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, you're watching House and Home. Again, Christmas is just around the corner and it's usually the time of the year where a lot of families go on holidays. We've got Tina from BSP coming up next for the BSP segment, and she has a great product plan to introduce to you that can assist you financially so you can have a great holiday. Let's join her now in the studio.
BSP is expanding the largest branch network in the South Pacific with new containerized branches. New ideas, new technology, new service. Where it's needed, we go where the other banks don't. Wow. To the most remote regions in PNG and the South Pacific on a mission to bring banking to the people. BSP's containerized branches. BSP, it's how we bank.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another BSP segment. This month, BSP handed over its final community project. The bank's Douglas Street branch handed over a new-look library to Hohola Demonstration Elementary School. This handover was the last of 33 projects which the bank took part in this year. Preparations for 2014 projects are currently underway. This month, PNG's most celebrated swimmer Ryan Penny has re-signed as BSP brand ambassador. Penny signed a new deal with BSP which will see him continue as brand ambassador up until 2016. As BSP brand ambassador, Penny says the bank's continued contribution to community initiatives such as the Go Green Cleanup Days and the various school sport programs provides an opportunity for him to promote healthy and active lifestyles among adults and children of many ages. He explained that the lead-up for the 2015 Pacific Games, in which BSP is the official sponsor, will involve intense training during the week before and between working hours. Penny will also take part in international competitions to better his preparations in 2014 and 2015. Penny will also continue to mentor and help motivate other athletes to do their best when the Pacific Games arrive in Port Moresby in 2015. With the Pacific Games in 2015, BSP as major sponsor, Penny says will encourage the sporting men, women and children of PNG to dream big to one day represent the best of our country. On to cricket. The BSP school cricket program aims to reach 150,000 students this year. In a recent update, Cricket PNG revealed that they are well on track to reaching this goal. This has been largely due to the newly introduced BSP School Cricket Blast competition. Continuing on from the 8-week BSP School Cricket program, the School Cricket Blast competition has been a resounding success, with more than 2,000 children taking part in the first Blast competition in NCD during Term 3. Since the commencement of the BSP School Cricket program in 2009, the participation of children in cricket has increased. The program earned a hat trick as the Best Junior Development Program with the International Cricket Council's East Asia Pacific Award for 3 years running. From the regional award, the program also went on to bag the ICC Global Award of Best Junior Participation Initiative for 2010 and 2011. It's that time of the year again when we start planning for the holidays. It's when many families plan for that special event or that much talked about dream holiday. Whatever your plans, you don't have to put them off anymore. Let BSP help you. With a BSP personal loan, you can make this Christmas a little more memorable. So what's different about a BSP personal loan? A BSP personal loan is an unsecured loan facility available to customers for any worthwhile purpose at an affordable rate over a given period. You may be asking, what's an unsecured loan? An unsecured loan basically means that there is no equity required by the customer when applying. This means that when a customer applies for a loan, his loan can be approved immediately without having to provide equity or financial guarantee. It's easy, and with affordable rates and flexible repayment terms, it has never been easier to apply for a personal loan. To apply for a BSP personal loan, you must have a confirmation letter of employment, contract of employment if applicable, 3 times latest payslips, a fully and thoroughly completed personal loan application, valid identification, Superfund ID or statement, and you must have a bank account. For more information, call our customer service center on 320-1212 or 7030-1212, or you can visit your nearest branch. Well, viewers, this has brought us to the end of our segment for tonight. Join us next month when we bring you more updates from BSP. Until then, pleasant viewing and good night.
BSP is expanding the largest branch network in the South Pacific with new containerized branches. New ideas, new technology, new service. Where it's needed, we go where the other banks don't. Wow. To the most remote regions in PNG and the South Pacific on a mission to bring banking to the people. BSP's containerized branches. BSP, it's how we bank.
After the break, we join Bill Neal over at Brian Bell, so stay watching.
If you buy one of these StarVision TVs, you will get one of these fold-up chairs for free.
Hey, hey, Mr. B.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another Brian Bell segment on House and Home. I'm your host for the evening, Bill Neal. In case you didn't already know, the Brian Bell Christmas catalogue has just come out. This segment is all about what products are in the catalog, the different departments, what they have to offer you. The catalog also has some interesting add-ons, some giveaways that we've attached to some different products. So I'll educate you about the catalog. Without further ado, let's go. So the first department we're going to check out in the catalog is the giftware department. The giftware department, not just because it's a gift and Christmas, but because it's got a lot of interesting offerings in the catalog. You've got all the women's accessories like the bags, the earrings, key rings, all the different sort of trinkety jewelry items that are unique that you won't find anywhere else in P&G, so that's a plus. You've got decor to theme your rooms, add a little bit of flavor to your house, but the most important thing to take note of are the different toys that we have in stock this Christmas at Brian Bell. The range is extensive and it's flying off the shelves like tap out of a water. So at the start of the segment, I told you that we had some giveaways for you. Now, if you haven't got the catalog, we're trying to do you a favor and show you just some, not all, just some of the add-ons we've got for the different products. So that means you buy something, you get something free. Sound like a good deal? Let's go check out what Brian Bell's got in store for you. So if you buy a Coleman tent, a 3-man, 4-man or a 6-man tent, a gazebo, any Coleman tent, you will get not 1, but 2 sleeping bags for free. Here in the white goods section, if you buy a dryer, a stove, a fridge or a freezer, you stand to take one of these Bell dining sets home for free. If you buy a Simpsons washing machine, you will get one of these towels for free. If you buy a Starvision TV, you can get one of these fold-up chairs for free. If you buy a Coleman Esky that is 100 quarts or bigger, like this 200 quart Coleman Esky, then you will get one of these Coleman coolers for free. If you get any other sized Coleman Esky, then you will get one of these cricket hats for free. If you buy a selected range of Singer sewing machines, you will get a free Singer cordless jug. The catalog has so many different products that I haven't even touched on. You need to get your hands on one to suss it out for yourselves. We've got dining sets, we've got Yoga convection ovens, we've got sewing machines, we've got irons, we've got all the Tramontina cooking pot sets. There are so many different products, some on reduced prices, some for Christmas specials. You're going to have to get your hand on a copy of one of these and get down to Brian Bell before it's too late. As well as toys, we assemble these bikes. We're running out of stock, so you need to get down quickly. Here we go. From 795 kina to 495 kina for the Naples 5-piece dining suite. Looks all right, looks all right. 1795 now to 645 kina for a vinyl sofa bed brown. Oh, that would look brilliant in my house. All this catalog chat, furniture has got me tired. Let me just recline in my all wood lounge suite. There are several of these new to Brian Bell and are in stock right now. The different color of this lounge suite right here has already sold out. Seriously, it's already sold out as of last week. So if you want to come in and get some good lounge suites for some good prices, great products, great prices, you know that's Brian Bell. So there you go, folks. Thank you for keeping me company tonight. We've had a brief look at the Brian Bell catalog. You need to get your hands on one of these because I've only just touched on some, not all, some of the free giveaways, some of the new products, new ranges that we have here at Brian Bell. And before I let you go, I'd like to make a quick mention of the Christmas giveaway competition that we've got going at the moment. 50 kina buy-in. If you don't win a TV in one of the weekly draws, then you're still in the running for the 4th of January, where we draw the grand prize of 25,000 kina for the family package. So please head down to University of Brian Bell, 50 kina to get into the draw, and from me, Please remember, don't forget, great products, great prices. That is Brian Bell. See you all next week. See you down at the Home Centre. See you at the Brian Bell Home Centre in Goroka. See you at Kokopo. I'm not there. I might be. Either way, have a good time shopping for your Christmas presents. Good night.
Best price, best quality, guaranteed at Brian Bell.
Right on, Mr. B.
Thanks, Bill, and we look forward to see what you have to show us next week from Brian Bell. This is usually the time of the year where snakebite victims are common and possibly the most reported, especially since we're well into our warmest and wettest time of the year. We get an introduction to the deadliest snakes that are responsible, and we learn the work of the Charles Campbell Toxinology Center that's coming right up after these messages.
The Charles Campbell Toxinology Centre is a set-up collaboration between the University of PNG, University of Melbourne and the Global Snakebite Initiative. They also work with other collaborators from major institutions in the UK, Spain and Costa Rica. A big part of the work the Charles Campbell Toxinology Centre is working towards is understanding the effects of PNG snake venoms and how they impact snakebite victims, as well as conducting research to improve antivenoms and better access availability to antivenoms.
My name's David Williams. I'm the Clinical Trial Coordinator and the Director of the Charles Campbell Toxinology Centre. Charles Campbell was an Australian doctor who worked in Port Moresby General Hospital from 1956 till 1965, who had an enormous interest in snakebite. Was quite famous for being seen walking across the highway with his dressing gown and slippers on to come and see snakebite patients late at night. So when we were looking for a name for our research centre, it was decided that it should be named in his honour, given that he was the first person to really conduct snakebite research in Papua New Guinea. We purchased a Toyota Land Cruiser about 12 months ago. Over the last year it's been converted into an intensive care ambulance. So basically the aim is to be able to reach out to very sick snakebite patients, people who are having airway and breathing problems, who would otherwise probably die before they get to Port Moresby. In the past, there's not been a service like that possible. The ambulance services that currently exist don't have the equipment or the personnel to be able to manage these people properly. Whereas what we can do is we can go out with basically all the equipment that you'd find normally in an intensive care unit with a doctor, a nurse. We can treat the patient at a health centre, stabilise them, and then we can safely transport them back here where they can be admitted to the intensive care unit for ongoing treatment. So the idea is to try and avoid having people put at high risk, being put into the backs of PMVs or utilities, laid flat on their backs when they're having airway and breathing problems and just sent off into the night, by actually going out and dealing with them at the health centre and then bringing them back. So the way our service works is that we don't go out and pick up patients from villages or homes or from the suburbs, because the reality is that probably more than 60% of snake bites are non-venomous anyway. And it's really important that people go to their local health service first, whether it's an aid post or a health centre or Gerahu Hospital, and they can be evaluated there and they'll make a decision on whether or not they need our assistance. So if that assistance is needed, then the health centres in Central Province or the health centres here within the NCD can contact us and we will go and pick up the patient and do whatever's necessary to get them back here alive. At the moment, most of the patients that we've been bringing back have been coming from Agivaru Health Centre in Hiri, and a good part of the reason for that is because of the atrocious state of the health centre itself. The building is literally falling down around the health workers. Apparently it was renovated 3 years ago, but it's full of white ants again, and the walls and the ceilings are collapsing. They don't, until recently, they didn't have a health worker that was able to administer antivenom there. The previous one had left, and they had no capacity to treat snake bites. And in August there were a number of deaths in that particular part of the province, patients who never got to hospital before they died. Roughly we can retrieve patients from within 120 kilometres of Port Moresby in either direction. That's probably about the practical limit of it. But if we have patients from, say, further down the south coast or further up into Gulf Province, for example, the hospital in Vafa, usually what they do is they bring the patients halfway in their ambulance and they meet us on the side of the road, and we pick them up and then bring them back. So that's been useful, and that would certainly be the sort of thing that we could do with patients from down in, say, Cupiano or Moraguina. If they're able to get ambulance transport from St John in Cupiano and meet us somewhere along the Maggie Highway, then we're able to help them with that as well. The reality is that the supply of antivenom to health centres at the moment is rather problematic. A number of the health centres that we help have got no antivenom supplies at all, or they get very small quantities of it, which they use far quicker than then they can get new product supplied back in again, simply because they treat so many snake bites. But the problem is the current Australian antivenoms are very expensive, and the health department can only afford so much. The main thing that we do here at Port Moresby General Hospital, we have this snakebite clinic that operates here in the emergency department. So when people come to the emergency department now, they get dedicated snakebite management. The doctors that are working with us have got a lot of exposure to snakebite and are very good at being able to manage it and make the right treatment decisions. But as part of that, we're also undertaking a clinical trial of a new antivenom that we've developed, the Charles Campbell Toxinology Centre, in conjunction with our partners at the University of Melbourne, the University of Papua New Guinea and the University of Costa Rica. And that antivenom is significantly less expensive than the current Australian ones. We're talking about probably 300 kina compared to nearly 5,000 kina for the current one. So there's a big difference in the price. And at the moment the two products are being clinically trialled, tested against each other to confirm that they're both equally effective and equally safe to use. And if that's the case, then we're hoping eventually the new product will replace the current one, and it will mean that those sorts of antivenom shortages that health centres have now will cease to exist, because at the price that it'll be able to be supplied, there'll be enough antivenom available to go around for everyone. The sort of retrieval work we do, I guess, is different to what a lot of people expect. It's not about getting out there and picking up a person and bringing them back as fast as you possibly can. In fact, often we will come back very slowly with patients. Once a person has been immobilised and put on a ventilator, we need to be very careful that they don't get bumped and jostled around too much, so we have to drive fairly slowly. And unfortunately the condition of the roads, particularly the Hiratano Highway at the moment, which is an absolute disgrace, makes it very difficult to do that successfully. You know, we literally have to go over some of the huge potholes and craters at less than walking speed in order to make sure that our patients aren't, jostled around too much. I suppose the big challenges that people face in rural areas in terms of snakebite is the fact that the health centres have so few resources. Like I said, most of them have no antivenom at all, and the ones that do often don't have enough. But it's not just the antivenom, they're also often missing the basic equipment that they need to support life. So suction machines for clearing blood and mucus from a person's airway, for example. Hand resuscitators for helping a person to be able to breathe. Oxygen supplies for improving the flow of oxygen to their lungs. These are basic things that every health centre should have access to, And sadly, at the moment, that's not the case. You know, we've been donating equipment to health centres like Agiviru and Vafa, new suction machines, new resuscitators, but, you know, we can't supply them with oxygen cylinders. That's something that the health department needs to be doing. As I said, you know, in this hospital this year we've had, I think, maybe 2 deaths from snakebite. But we know in August alone there were 5 deaths just in Hiri, let alone anywhere else. And those are people who never got to a major health centre or hospital like Port Moresby General, and the health centres that they presented to simply didn't have the capacity to be able to help save their lives. This has been a really funny year. We've had more snake bites through winter this year than ever before. We've seen over 140 cases of snake bite at this hospital between April and August. And normally you'd expect that you might only see 20 or 30. And it hasn't really slowed down. We're still seeing lots of cases. Just in the last week, I think we've had 7 or 8 cases, including 2 retrievals. So maybe it's because there are, you know, people are making more of an effort to get to hospital. And certainly we would tell people that what they should be doing if they're bitten by snakes is not staying in the village, not relying on traditional first aid. It will certainly work for the 60% or so of cases where the snake wasn't venomous. In fact, anything will work. But for bites by Papuan taipans or death adders or other venomous snakes, the only thing that's going to save people's lives is if they get to a health centre as soon as possible. And people really need to understand that. They need to understand that they need to not delay, not let the person walk around, not let the person eat or drink. They need to transport them, carry them if necessary on a stretcher or in a vehicle, preferably laying on their side, so that they don't run the risk of suffocation, and get them to the nearest health centre or hospital as quickly as possible. Our funding for our clinical trial comes from Australia's National Health and Medical Research Council. We received a project grant in 2011 for that work, so that's funding most of the work we do here in the hospital, and our clinical trial research. And at the moment we're sort of looking at ways that we can fund some of the other work we do with either public donations or crowdfunding, or with corporate support. I mean, one issue we do have is that the medical retrieval work we do it for free. People don't pay a cent for it. But it does cost us money to run the service. It's not so much the costs of the drugs and the medicines and things like that, but even a retrieval 60, 70 kilometres out of town, we go through 100 kina worth of fuel. And we're looking for people who are willing to sponsor some of the assistance that we want to be able to give to health centres. So to supply a health centre with the equipment that they need to manage a patient's airway costs around about 1,000 kina. And it's the sort of thing that village communities could easily do to support their local health centres, would be to raise money that can then be directed through our centre to purchase the right equipment that's needed to go into their local health centres and aid posts, so that if they do get bitten by a snake and they need airway and breathing support, at least the basic equipment that's necessary can be made available, and we can make sure that the health workers have had the basic training necessary to be able to use that equipment properly. Well, we run a national snakebite training course every 2 or 3 years. Our last one was in 2010. The next one will be probably in the first half of next year. So that's run here, usually here in Port Moresby. And we train mainly HEOs, CHWs and nursing officers and doctors in the correct treatment of snakebite. So we bring them in here for a week, and it's a very intensive week of training. But we do also do outreach programs to health centres in Central Province. This year we've done training up at Doa for the health workers who work at the rubber plantation in the 3 health centres there. And we've also done training at Agiviru for the health workers that we're having problems with the management of snake bite, but we basically try to get out as often as we can and do refresher training for people in health centres on both of the highway networks.
To assist with the work of the Charles Campbell Toxinology Centre, a large collection of highly venomous PNG snakes, including Papuan taipans, Death Adder's Papuan black snakes, New Guinea small-eyed snakes and so on, are kept for the collection and testing of venoms. The venoms of these snakes is quite fatal and can cause bleeding, paralysis leading to death if the snakebite victim is not attended to immediately. As mentioned by David Williams, snakebite victims in rural areas must be taken to the nearest health clinic in their area. However, the snakebite victim would need to be transported in a way to prevent the toxin from taking effect.
Okay, so when someone is bitten by a snake, or when you're bitten by a snake, the first things to do is to move away from the snake. Don't try to catch the snake, and come to a place where it's safe. And you start by putting on what we call the first aid for snake bite, pressure immobilization bandaging. And that involves use of a stretchy bandage, such as I'm holding, and applied over a wide area over the limb, whether it's the arm or the leg. And I will get Ben, one of our scientists here, to use as a demo. Ben has just been bitten by a snake. We don't know what snake. It was a black colored snake. So we moved him away from the snake, and let's just say it doesn't matter where on the leg or the arm, it doesn't matter where on the leg you're bitten, you always start bandaging from just below the toes. So I'm stretching the bandage as far as I can go and overlapping by 2 centimeters or so. So let's just say he was bitten here. If he's wearing long trousers, we bandage over the trousers. Okay? We don't apply, don't cut, or do anything to the bite site. Okay? You stretch as far as you can go, and the whole aim is to keep the toxin, the poison, from not traveling up to the heart. Keep it there, so that when we can then take the person, the victims, to a health center or hospital where they can get antivenom, which will then bind to the toxins and remove the poison from the body. So as I said before, it doesn't matter where on the leg someone is bitten, you bandage from just below the toes all the way up to the hip. Okay? And then we just find any piece of wood or stick that's straight enough. Say like this, break it off. You can use pieces of wood. You can either place it on the outside or on the inside. And then this one doesn't have to be as tight. It's just there to hold the leg in place so that the patient or the victim doesn't bend his knees or does not move. It's to prevent him from moving his leg. So I can go all the way around. You can do that. Sorry, Ben. Just tie that in place. So that's how we do apply a pressure immobilization bandage. There's pressure applied to the area, the venom is kept there, the poison is kept there. The patient cannot move his legs because when you move your body, the poison travels faster. So, and the reason why we say to leave the feet clear is so that the doctors or medical workers can check whether there's blood flowing, because we don't want to cut off the blood flow, we just want to stop the poison from traveling up. After you apply the pressure bandaging and the splint, the patient must not walk, the patient must be carried or taken by transport. And if traveling in a vehicle, they must be placed in a recovery position. Because many of these snakebite victims, some of the first signs too are also vomiting and nausea. And if they vomit, they can actually block the airway if their airway becomes paralyzed. So I'll just show Then I'll demonstrate on you again the recovery position. So just sleep. So it's to roll them on their side. Okay. Sleep. Sleep okay, that belly. Yep. Okay. No, like number 4. Okay. Just then. Yeah. Okay. In this manner. So if he vomits or anything, any secretions in the mouth and he can't swallow because they have difficulty swallowing because the neck muscle, swallowing muscle become paralyzed, all that can come out there. And this is the way you transport them in a vehicle in this position. So say bitten anywhere on the arm, you always start bandaging from just below the fingers, the tips of the fingers, see, and stretching. If you don't have pressure bandage or this type of stretchy bandage at home, and I know many people in the rural areas don't have this, you can use a towel, any material that's stretchy enough, and break it into strips of material this wide. Bandage all the way up to the shoulder. If there's leftover, you can come down again. Once again, you can use a piece of stick as a splint and splint it to the arm, either outside or the inside. Okay, and that will be tied.
With the work of the CCTC and the snakebite rescue operation, snakebite fatality should be expected to drop in a big way. Next week, we should have the second part of the story on the Charles Campbell Toxinology Centre, where we get to learn more on the very snake responsible for a great deal of snake bites and the very one that gets mistaken for the all-too-famous Papuan black.
Welcome back. We've just about come to the end of House and Home.
Next week on House and Home, Chef Viari cooks up a Christmas special on Zinek cooking. Dr. Ambi talks more on mental health. Our best mom, Miriam, does the best mackerel snap with cheese. It's more great quality buys over at Brian Bell. And we feature part 2 of the Charles Campbell Toxinology Center story.
This is where the team and I get to say goodnight. Whatever you have planned to complete this week, I hope you do, and may the weekend ahead be a good one. Enjoy the evening and look forward to your company again next week. Good night.